Good morning. I'm Father Ryan Humphreys. Welcome to the CU Catecast, fourth of the 12 books that we call the Minor Prophets. It's also one of the shortest books in the entire Bible. I don't know if it's shorter than Philemon or Philemon in the New Testament, but it's only 21 verses. Not a challenging read. But it is some left field and have no context, regardless of how quickly we can read the book and reread it. Now, known, and the dating of the book is just about 450 BC, which is right after the end of the Babylonian exile. Now, we have to be clear, it's not 100% clear why the Jews kept such a tiny book in the Bible. The only reason, there are two kind of arguments that we can make, but it's not 100% clear. We're kind of preaching about the Old Testament, really only bring the book of Obadiah up from time to time. But the two explanations that are worth mentioning. First, Edom is to Israel as Auburn is to LSU. Right? There is a gross, oh my God kind of rivalry. We can't call them enemies. We can't call them rivals. They just hated each other's guts. It's a thing. And the idea of having an Edom bumper sticker while driving through Jerusalem would be entirely inappropriate. Your donkey would be slain. It would just be a bad thing. So there is this strong, gross, profound sense. But second, and probably the more important reason it shows up, is that Obadiah mentions the dead, a phrase that we see constantly throughout the minor prophets and then a little bit less in the major prophets. And I would expect that's the reason Obadiah remains. There are no lack of people who wrote that Edom stinks, in different poems and songs and everything else. And so the first kind of reason is not a particularly strong argument, but the fact that Obadiah talks about the day of the Lord is probably the reason that it sticks around. Now, that said, we're exactly 91 seconds into this talk, and rather than ending it here, let me just give a little bit of context about Edom itself, because it is worth knowing, because when we get to things like the New Testament and we see the Pentecost, for example. There's just a lot of these places. Moab, Edom. What is that? What does that even mean? Edom is worth having a little bit of understanding about. Now, the ancient